Welcome to 146.52, the calling frequency where the points don't matter and everything's made up. Next on Live Free and Ham. Hello and welcome to Live Free and Ham podcast. This is our weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, and beyond. We're thrilled to have you here. So whether you're a regular listener or tuning in for the first time, thanks for joining us. Let's get into the show. I'm Eric, call sign N1JUR, and I'm with my hosts.
It's Paul, N1OG.
I'm Todd, W1STJ.
And we got the man with the no band left behind,
Mike, N2MAK.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to get into some really cool stuff in a bit, so sit tight while we get through our usual stuff here. We're going to give you a little update. So always you can come connect with us on Discord, and you can check that link out. It's in all of our description and notes below and on our website. You can leave us a voicemail. If you got a question, maybe you've been racking your brain, need some help, or if you're like Izzo and you want us to do a welfare check, feel free to leave us a voicemail at 978-233-1142. And you can always call us for a good time. And we've got an all-star node as well at Live Free and Ham, hub number 580-871. And you can always support our show by visiting our storefront at livefreeandham.com/shop. And you can become a Patreon, just like all the cool fellows that are here in the chat with us every week on this. And they get access, just as you would, to all of our episodes before they're released, discounts on merch and private member streams and awesome, cool things to check out yourself. So with that, there's always so much more. But as Bob likes to say, Did Bob play?
Not play through?
Bob did not play. Bob, come on, Bob, say something.
Oh, no.
Oh, did it not work? Okay, do we have to?
There we go.
You can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big expense.
There you go. All right. Well, good job. All my programming's out too. I just pressed the button for Bob. It told me that the files are all screwed up because I've been shifting stuff around. All right. Well, good with that. Let's get into our mailbag as always. So,
ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Everybody, we got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations, you've got mail.
it's everyone's favorite segment. No, it is not. That is too far in advance. So anyway, with that little faux pas there, let's hand it over to Todd. We've got stuff in the mailbag.
All right, let's hear it.
Hey guys, this is your Southern Connecticut report. We survived the storm with about 15 to 18 inches of snow, plus 3 to 5 foot drifts. Roads are open. Have not studied for my extra. Please tell Todd.
It's like a diary
it's
or
something.
something.
Like my crew. Good job, Izzo. Not studying for his extra. I wonder how his igloo's doing or that tent.
Who knows? Hopefully it's not up during those storm.
Maybe it's just all it's like
Dude, those tents will take the snow. No problem.
They will.
At all.
They've got that much of a snow.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I feel like this is the diary from Smoke Signals RF day 121. We're still here. We're waiting for water. We have decided to melt the snow. We've decided to melt the snow. Our snowblower is still wrapped up in plastic. We'll never get out. So, all right. Well, good on that one. Hopefully, Izzo, we appreciate these, but make it a song and dance or something. Like, bring up the level.
Give him crap. At least he's calling in. He's like making it worth the money to have the phone line. He's the only one that's called in, really.
Well, let's back the trade up. The phone line's free either way, so we're still ahead. Not that I pay for it.
Yeah. So, we got to get him to dial it up though. Like enough of like the low T voicemails and stuff. Like
I know. It's like I was getting nervous. I was like,
I love the low T. It's like, hey, we can get you some blue pills. We can get you something. Yeah. Like the damn situation.
It's like like Izzo, like Sunday night. Izzo's got like the cops that he works for coming in to check on him. Welfare check at Izzo's house.
Dude, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to schedule, his wife to come out there. Hey, there's a bunch of guys who called. They just want to know that if you're okay. What do they mean by that? All right. Well, with that, we do have a Winlink in the Winlink bucket, Mr. OG.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Hold on. Jesus. All right. So today's Winlink email.
Jesus sent us a Winlink?
It's not. It's actually K89 YSW, Chris Radio and Life. He writes, "Hey all, just a quick email. Yep, another podcast will come out soon, and I know I forgot to sign one of them. I'm using Mint with 7.3 Linux, so yeah, Pat Winlink is fun, and I'm getting all of the settings going. I will be doing some POTA this weekend, and we'll have possible surgery coming up. So no big ham fest for this guy this year. Bummer, Chris. 7.3 K89 YSW, Chris from Chris Radio and Life."
Wow. Well, speedy recovery on the surgery part. Hopefully it's not knocks you down and out and get you back out there and activating and, playing radio. So, although, even if you're in recovery mode, you could still play radio. It's not like you just have to do it from the recliner or wherever, your hospital bed.
Yeah, get somebody to toss an antenna up and just run the coax in through the window next to your bed. Put the radio right there.
Yeah, or better yet, we're just going to send our upbeat candy stripper Izzo to brighten your day and lighten it up at the hospital because he's so an upbeat person.
They need like an AFLAC for hams that will provide the insurance coverage will provide access to a flex if you're inpatient for more than 48 hours or something like.
We got a business plan there that's going well. There we go. That works.
Izzo could probably start making some money. He could do what's that app where you can have celebrities send you messages.
What I know what you're talking about.
Right? You just take the Izzo one and be like, "Hi, this is Izzo." From
it's ASMR. ASMR Izzo. Wow. All right. Well, good on that. Awesome. Keep those Winlinks and voicemails coming for sure. Hey, if you think you can one-up Izzo, please feel free. Be my guest. We encourage you to pick up that phone. And again, you do dial the number 978-233-1142 and leave us a voicemail. We dare ya. All right. Well, we got some awesome stuff coming up. Actually, this is, we are freaking already into March at this point. And when this episode releases, it'll already be come and gone. So hopefully you got a chance to tune in because we've been talking about it for weeks, every week over week. We've got the YL POTA Party show coming up, live stream, our official live stream in a god-awful dog's ears age of, when we say we're going to live stream. But we've got some awesome women on, and that list keeps growing. And they're going to be talking about everything ham radio, for YLs and talking about the POTA Party. And everything in between, and us guys from the hosts, we're just gonna sit back and enjoy it all because in essence, we're gonna let them kind of run the show and tell us how to do it the right way, and we'll enjoy every single moment of it. But we've got a few names that we're going to drop here. Obviously, we got Shannon, KC1OHT. For everybody knows Shannon. She's done the whole circuit now. She's been on Ham Nation. She's been on the European Ham Radio Show. She's been on the Clubhouse. I mean, you name it, she's been on it, kind of thing. So you probably heard about the YL POTA Party and all of that stuff. So we're looking forward to that. We've got Ellie Marie from she's on Frequency. We got Sandy KE8 UTX from the POTA Black Swamp crew. We've got Jules from POTA Power. We're hoping, I'm still waiting for schedules to see if we can get the ham radio chick there. Why did I just forget her name? Oh my gosh.
Caitlin,
thank you. And Michelle and Amy from the Queens of the Mountain, and a whole bunch of other awesome ladies. So,
Sandy from Black Swamp.
I said that. Did I just say that?
I'm just making sure.
That was because
I didn't hear it.
I didn't.
Highlighted it. Yeah, I have it highlighted here and double underlined and bolded, so I make sure I say that because I keep forgetting Black Swamp. So yes, you heard it here. So we're looking forward to that. That is going to be obviously come and gone. It'll be on Friday, the 6th. So hopefully you already subscribed to this channel and you'll get notified when we go live because I'm going to get that thumbnail out this week, and we're looking forward to it. So. All right. Well, with that, we don't have any do-goods, but that doesn't mean there isn't do-good happening. So please, if you got a good do-good story, no matter what in ham radio, we want to hear about it. Please send it our way. You can always use our website at liftfreeandham.com/do-good. Or feel free to leave us a Winlink that you're doing to do good, or email us the old-fashioned way at livefreeandham@gmail.com. And so with that, we're looking forward to hearing about some awesome stuff because, it's definitely good. And we've got Mike on to talk about 5.2 as well and that whole challenge. But with that, there's definitely a lot of good do-good there. So, we definitely want to see what's going on. But with that, let's just roll into our favorite lovely episode that helps everybody else.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd, W1STJ.
Still a general.
Let's kick the right button off here. Yep, you've heard it here. This is where we and Todd help you study for your license class level, whatever that might be. So with that, if you'd like to follow along, please use hamstudy.org. Support those guys over there because they are an awesome resource to help you get prepared for your test. And they've got some awesome antennas and other stuff that, once you get your license, you can start to add to your stable of radios that you will all collect because we all say we only need one, but in essence, that's all a lie that we tell everybody. So with that, without any further delay, over to our VE Quizmaster, Paul, take it away.
All right, Todd, tonight's first question comes from sub-element number 7. And the question is, how can an oscillator's microphonic responses be reduced?
This is new.
Is it A, increase the gain? B, reduce noise on the oscillator's power supply? C, mechanically isolate the oscillator circuitry from its enclosure? Or is it D, use an NP0 capacitors?
Oscillator's microphonic. I love how they just throw a little wrench there.
The microphonic response needs to be reduced, Captain.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
I'll go with D.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I'd say B for me. You want to throw in, Mike?
Yeah, I was thinking B, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was the first one. They say go with your gut, right? That's what my Elmer's always told me. Go with the first thing that comes to you. If you get stuck, don't overthink it. So,
but is the answer go with your gut there? I don't see that.
No.
Bob says.
All right. Well, Todd said D.
Nope.
D is incorrect. All right. Eric said B.
Nope.
B is incorrect.
I thought
Bob
about
said
changing
C.
to A. Oh, Bob was right.
Bob was right. My gosh.
C is correct.
Whew. Nice job, Bob.
He Googled it.
So, to further explain, microphonic effects, think of a microphone, are electrical changes in component properties caused by mechanical effects, such as vibration, sharp impulses, or similar. Mm-hmm. In oscillator circuits, capacitors can slightly change their value due to mechanical stress, leading to changes in resonant frequency of tank circuits. There's a formula there. So these tank circuits that form the heart of the oscillator, in vacuum tube oscillator designs, mechanical vibration, example, the grid or filaments, can alter their electrical properties and cause the same thing. So mechanical insulation isolation of the oscillator circuit will minimize the microphonic effects. And there's a couple links for those that are curious about it.
This is definitely a question I think is starting to lose its interest. You go, the only place you can get tubes these days are near fests, at ham fests. You're not buying them off the shelf at Radio Shack any longer. Bring back Radio Shack. ruining ham radio.
Hey, I saw someone's trying to bring it back.
Yeah, there's still a few out there. There's one or two.
That'd be nice. I thought there was only one left, but
there's one in. I don't know if it's a real Radio Shack, but there's one up in what is it? Just past Henniker, Hillsborough, New Hampshire. Still has the sign up, so I don't know. I haven't gone in there. I should go in there next time I'm up there. All right.
All right. Question number 2 also comes from some element number 7. And the question is, how does a diode envelope detector function? Is it A, by mixing signals with noise in the transition region of the diode? B, by rectification and filtering of RF signals?
Rectum.
C, by sensing the change of reactance in the diode with respect to frequency? Or is it D, by breakdown of the Zener voltage?
I'm going to go with C.
I just like the word rectification.
I'll go with D.
Todd said Charlie, right?
Yeah.
No. Did you say Charlie? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
All right. So Todd said C, which is incorrect. I heard Mike say D.
Yeah.
That is incorrect. Eric, what was yours?
B. I just said the rectification. I like the
rectification.
It was just a cool word. It was like rectal. Cornholio. Give me TP for my bunghole.
All right.
Is rectification even a real word?
It is. That I know.
Yeah.
It is the act of rectifying.
Yeah, that's the way to use the word, the definition. Thank you. My Catholic nun would whack me upside the head and say, give me a better definition. All right. Enough of mine. Oh, Paul froze. There we go. Are you back?
Oh, yeah, Elon got me for a second there. All right, so to further explain, a diode detector is the simplest way of demodulating AM signals. It operates by detecting the envelope of the incoming signal, which it does by rectifying the signal. Current is allowed to flow through the diode in only one direction, giving either the positive or negative half of the envelope at the output. The AM detector or demodulator includes a capacitor at the output. Its purpose is to remove any radio frequency components of the signal at the output. Filtering. The value is chosen so that it does not affect the audio baseband signal. And your hint, remember, rectification.
Yep.
Hey, Beavis, there's some diodes over there. Let's go rectify them.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm with you. Let's go. Cornholio.
This one. I hate
these. For my bunghole.
All right. The third and final question comes from sub-element number 5. And the question is, what is the relationship between AC current through a capacitor and the voltage across a capacitor? Is it A, voltage leads current by 90 degrees? B, voltage and current are in phase? C, voltage and current are 180 degrees out of phase? Or is it D, current leads the voltage by 90 degrees?
Oh my gosh, I hate this one.
So fucking stupid.
We always get this one wrong.
I know. I'm gonna go with D.
Yeah, man, it's either A or D for me, my friend. I'm gonna go with A just to see the difference. Because it's like, is it leads or does it follow?
Is this like one of the Eli, the Iceman?
Yes,
things?
thank you. Yes. Well, somebody remembers the hint.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can apply the hint.
Yeah. So Eli, so that voltage leads current. Voltage leads current. A.
Wow. Mike, using thought and deduction and intelligence. We're just guessing. All
right. Well, Todd said D. And D is correct.
Wow. Nice job. There we go.
Here we go. For those that haven't gotten this yet, a helpful way to remember the relationship of current and voltage in inductors and capacitors is Eli the Iceman. In a capacitor, symbol C, current I, leads voltage E by 90 degrees. In an inductor, symbol L, voltage E, leads current I by 90 degrees. Another helpful way to remember this is capacitor and current both start with a C, and for the inductor, it is opposite of the capacitor.
Sweet.
When I typed out on a blank note, Eli the Iceman, just now when I was looking at it, I was like, I know what the E's and the I's are, but what the hell is the L and the C? Now I'm like, duh.
Inductance and capacitance.
Yes, I could have figured that.
Wow. Yeah, well,
yeah.
All good stuff, my friend. The little hints and whatnot are sticking. And Todd, I congratulate you for finally getting over this question and moving on. So we'll never see it again. So good on that one. All right. Well, as we always like to say, if you're studying for your journey, if you're on your journey, I should say, studying for that technician, general, or extra class like Todd, then hamstudy.org is a great resource. Or maybe you recently just got your ticket or an upgrade, then we want to hear from you. And the way you can do that really easily is just send us an email at livefreeandham@gmail.com, and we'll jump on the opportunity to celebrate with you next episode. Do we have anybody in the hopper there, Paul?
So we do not. However, we do have one person signed up for our April testing session.
Very cool. Nice.
And it's an upgrade from general to extra.
Well, hopefully Todd's studying is helping him get his extra. We can only hope. All right. Well, very cool. And just on a sidebar, I was just scouring through to answer a few of our questions. Do we have any more Radio Shacks left? And yeah, there's quite a bit. The two in New Hampshire, or one in New Hampshire, is I think owned by. Yeah, it's Hillsboro. It's owned by AV Concepts. The one I want to go check out.
I've seen it.
Yep. The one I want to go check out, just because the name of the company is pretty cool, that's in Gloucester, is called Mac Daddy Computers. I want to walk in there. He better be in a zoot suit, big feather hat, kind of just standing behind the desk.
So it's a legit Radio Shack in Hillsboro.
I'll resell it.
But I thought there was only one legit Radio Shack left.
Well, these, based off the Radio Shack website, says the Radio Shack store locator, which means that I assume they are resellers, so they have to use the
franchise
Radio
owners.
Shack logos. Yeah, exactly. Although the one I'd really like to check out, because I think it just warrants a nice trip out there. Maybe your daughter could tell us. Maybe she had to go there for batteries or something. There's one in Sitka, Alaska, which I don't know.
Oh, no shit.
Who's supplying that, with all their parts? Because that's a haul and a half.
Oh, that's the middle of freaking nowhere.
No, exactly. By a company who owns it called Arctic Fox Enterprises, which means he probably runs it out of his P.O. box. Here's the catalog. Go online and I'll ship it to you. All right. Well, with that, we're going to shift gears here real quick and get into our usual Ham Radio Week catch up. So we'll throw it over to Paul first. Actually, no, we'll throw it over to Mike, since he's our guest as always. He was on last week. He's almost like a staple of our new show. What?
Eric, did you get 2 out of 3?
No, he didn't. He got 1.
No, I got 1. I will confirm I got 1.
There was no song. No one got 2.
I know, he was on the button.
Well, I had a special thing that it was suggested that we added into the mix.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, you got to play it now. You
got to wait till next week when I get 2.
You might have to play it on the live stream, and we might have to test you on the live stream.
No.
Okay. Fine. We'll wait, because Todd, can't. It's got to be a good one. Did you make another song, or you just kind of do a mashup?
No, it's a sound clip from a movie, actually.
Oh, even better than, the good old tried and true version. All right. Well, we'll wait till next week, and I will definitely make sure I get 2 out of 3 and fail on the last one. All right. Well, in our usual week catch up, Mike, you are pretty much a staple here anyway, but you are our guest. So how's your Hamburger week, my friend?
It's been fun. I've been going out Wednesday mornings really early because my son has driver's ed at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays. I got to drop him off at the high school. There's no bus for the class because it's so early, and I just kind of use it as an excuse. Let me just go out and play radio. And so usually, until the time changes and the seasons change, and we get some propagation on some of the higher bands that early in the morning, I'm pretty much just doing 30-meter FT8. But it's been fun. I've been trying different antennas. It's sit there with my coffee. It's pretty chill. But I've made some really cool contacts, and it's surprising how much time I've spent on 30 meters not knowing CW yet. But it really is like a good band and stuff. I'm hoping because I keep an eye on the muff. Every Wednesday when I'm going out, and eventually I'll be able to get on 17 and do well early. But that was a lot of fun.
I also like the muff.
Yeah,
we all do.
And I got a real big surprise. I had so much fun Thursday. I did kind of in an impromptu POTA, and I was just using a 29-foot random wire and the G90, and which, it's a little bit more cash when I don't set up a monoband antenna, and I can just push that button, right, and just jump around. And I started off on 10. It was, I don't know, like around 5 o'clock. So I figured, 10 might still be open a little bit, and got a couple cool contacts there, and was on 17, 20, 40, and kind of, I had a station move in on me on 40 meters, so I'm starting to get some QRM from an adjacent station. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to go find another frequency. A couple of the hunters pointed it out. I'm like, all right, I'll go somewhere else. And I thought for a second, like, you know what? I got 15 minutes or so left to play. Instead of finding another frequency on 40, let me see if this random wire as a 29-foot one will tune up on 60 meters. I'm like, I'm going to go play in the new portion of 60 meters. And I was triple checking everything to make sure that the frequency was legit, because I'm on something I've never been on before in the new open spectrum. I made sure like twice, like I'm on upper sideband. I'm at 9 watts. And I made my first 2 contacts on that random wire with 9 watts. It was Long Island and Ohio. 60 will be similar to 80 and 40. But I was so excited, man. I was like, and the guys I talked to are like, man, we've never done this before. Like, and so it's always nice, when the hunters are like, wow, this is cool. Thank you. Like I've never done POTA on 60, or I haven't played in the new portion yet. And, so I was like on cloud 9 after that. It was totally impromptu. And sometimes that's the fun when you do bring out like that random wire, and you can just, or you got a tuner and you can just bounce around and RF around and find out, like I say, so, yep. So that was good. Those were my POTAs this week.
Sweet, dude. Yeah. Dude, I saw your little 60-meter clip there, and it kind of nudged me a little bit, thinking, oh, well, okay, I should probably maybe play with that frequency, because we had a couple of actually, Ted's not in the chat here, or maybe no, he isn't. I didn't see him pop up.
He was, yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay, so he had done a presentation at our club on the 60-meter changes and stuff, which was really good. And kind of like I went back and looked at it a little bit, and I was like, oh man, I really got to try it, and kind of fool around. But then I realized I have a Yaesu, and I have to now spend that time trying to figure out how to get this stupid channelization stuff out of, hey Ted, there we go. Out of its configuration to be able to add the extra frequency. So maybe one day the 891 will get a firmware update.
Yeah, I'll just give a plug too for Matt from Reliance Antennas, because it was with the Reliance NFED random wire, which was the first thing I purchased from Reliance was the random wire. But what was funny to me, and I texted Matt right after I made the contacts. I'm like, dude, I just made my first like new 60-meter contacts on the random wire, but I built a 60-meter dipole with the Reliance bug out dipole prototype that he gave me back at the camp out. And my whole rationale was I'm going to build a dipole for 60 because we're limited in that news section to just 9.15 watts ERP. So I want the most efficient antenna I can have if I'm going to be QRP. And when I went out to do a POTA with that a couple weeks ago, right after the ban changed, I ended up activating on one of the existing 60-meter channels because it was open, it was channel 4, I think, where I could have ran 100 watts. I was just running 10. But it was open, and I started getting a pile up on 60. So I'm like, I'm just going to roll with it. I thought I was going to be doing FT8 and limited to 9 watts in the new section. And, so like I said, RF around and find out, you'd be surprised sometimes what antennas can and can't do. You don't know unless you try. And here I'm thinking, I got to have a dipole to do this because it's QRP. Nope. Random wire worked just fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When in doubt, try it out.
Yes. Yep.
Air it out too, but yeah. Very cool, man, dude. Yeah. Thank you for, making us all, aspire to, higher and bigger, greater, accolades in the ham radio environment where all of us are still like, I still hang out on 2 meters repeater every once in a while. All Stars my favorite band. So very cool. All right. Well, with that, we're going to get into more of Mike and VHF and UHF, but this is going to be different. This is going to be talking some interesting challenges ahead. So hopefully, you cut the video, but we'll get into that in a bit. Paul, over to you, my friend. What the hell have you been doing, my friend?
Well, I'll make it nice and quick and easy. I did 0 ham radio this week.
All right. Well, adjacent. I know you've been, flying the friendly skies a little bit.
Well, today. So, all right. So I left Z Hills a day later than I had planned because the weather sucked and I didn't feel like traveling in the rain. So Monday I traveled up to Palatka. It was about a 3-hour drive. And I was ready and raring to go. Like, blue skies, yes, no. We had super high winds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Friday was super windy too. Yesterday was overcast and raining. Friday was overcast as well. But today we had sunshine and clear skies. Relatively low winds. There was a bit of wind differential, some wind shear, where the wind is rapidly changing directions. So there's some turbulence about 3,000 feet. But I got to jump at Skydive Palatka, and I got the shirt to prove it.
Looking good.
Very cool. Nice.
It was a really cool smaller drop zone. I had never jumped out of a Cessna 182, so that was a new one. They weren't running the 182 up to full altitude because it takes like 20 minutes just to get to 5,500.
So is that plane a bigger or smaller plane than you're used to?
Oh, it's much smaller.
Much smaller.
Yeah, much smaller.
It's like Yugo versus a Lincoln.
Okay.
So to put it into context, right? I mean, like I've been jumping out of caravans, which it's what 12 to 14 people can fit. The Twin Otters can fit, I think, 16. The 182 fits 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So and it's a tight 4. Yeah, that's it. It was the QRP of skydiving.
Yeah. Not the butt.
No, dude. Even after the caravan came, right? I think the caravan holds 12 or 13. Mike, I mean, there is no such thing as personal space in skydiving. You are packed into that plane like freaking sardines in a can.
Well, dude, when the rite of passage is to dive naked, to skydive naked, definitely there's no personal space whatsoever. That's all hanging out.
Yeah. So I'm up to 77 now.
Damn.
And I did get a tip that there is a drop zone 90 minutes from where I'm going to be in Texas. So I'm going to start with that drop zone, and then we'll go from there. We'll see how much of Texas I get to explore over the next 6 weeks.
Well, and you're off to Six's Ranch sometime soon, right? Or you?
I leave tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow! So you'll be on the road, and you're going to be what's the destination time for that?
So the way that I planned it was it's gonna take me 2 days to get out there, or two stops to get out there. So I'll be there on the third day.
Nice, very cool. Well, looking forward to seeing more of that, and keep up the skydiving. It's been good to see you finally, spread your wings, as they say. Because all I hear is fuck, it's raining again. Oh, damn, it's too windy. Oh, it's like, dude, come on, let's talk about the good stuff. Let's see some of the good stuff.
I have never hated the weather more than when it comes to planning to go skydiving, and then the weather rolls in and it's shit.
Yep, I know it's sad how small little gusts of wind can affect your fun altogether, which I can sympathize. We have our stupid snow up here, but at least it's snow and we know what to expect. So, all right, cool. Well, over to you, Todd. How is your ham radio, or lack of, or
ditto?
Do you skydive too?
No,
you
I didn't skydive.
High five, Todd.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, Eric,
very cool.
I know you were away this weekend and weren't able to do any skydiving. But I mean, skydiving. Not doing any
definitely
ham
not
radio.
Definitely on that part. Yep. Nope.
But how was your week with ham radio?
Well, thank you for asking, my friend. My wife and I went away for a little mini vacation, and I thank you, Bob, for hitting me up and inviting us down there. But it was kind of an impromptu kind of thing. There's a place we usually go up to, in Maine that we like to vacation at. It's kind of like our high-end, kind of in resort bed and breakfast thing, and it's fun to just be there because you get pampered. But for the most of it, we were like, oh, we got an opening, so we jumped on it. Because they're usually pretty booked up there. And we as we were driving up, my wife started into, this baby at work and this parent. And I'm like, whoa, let's hit the brakes. I don't want to hear anything about work unless it's our children or the dog or anything else in your life, girlfriends, whatever. And I will not do any ham radio or talk of any ham radio or anything like that, club related or whatever. And, it worked out good because, when, we had the downtime or, sitting in a jacuzzi or just, right before we wind down the end of the night, I at least got my ham radio updates and, stuff like that in silence. But, we kept to that list. And
All-star.
No, sadly, speaking of actually a ham radio relent, of course, my all-star node finally got cooked. I was so mad. The stupid SD card finally shit the bed. So now I've got to call Clear Node again and get a new SD card formatted and rebuilt and sent back out to me. So my all-star node is down in the truck, which is kind of making me thinking like, yeah, I love the Clear Nodes, but at the same time, I'm so dependent on their stupid little SD card that if it fails, I have to pay them $25 to send me out a new one with my config on it, kind of thing. And so I'm just like, all right, maybe I'll have to look over at Freddie Mac's kind of options that we've lightly touched upon, and maybe I have to build my own little replacement node that I can manage and deal with, and not have to deal with the SD card woes that everybody has with pies and the like. So, yeah, outside of that, didn't do much ham radio, although we are talking 5-2 challenge. And when Mike had posted that video out there, I was like, all right, I caught little blips of it. And I was like, cool. Well, Sunday on the way home is, usually pretty good. Like in Maine, 5.2 is pretty active. Like there's a lot of conversation usually going on. And, when I'm up there on vacation, I can usually, have a conversation with somebody. And of course, wouldn't you know it, after I made the promise that I wouldn't do ham radio, and I was sharing with these guys offline, lo and behold, on the ride home, I'm like, having shakes because literally there was a 5.2 conversation going on with a bunch of different people. There was a whole bunch of guys on in the local area having conversations, and I couldn't record any of it. I couldn't make a 5.2 contact. So at that point, I'm already, behind the curve, as they say, a little bit in being, lockstep. I'm going to try to put out a 5.2 video every day of me making contact. So I'm going to spin it up a little bit where and we'll talk about this, but I'm going to try to spend 10 minutes every day on 5.2, just calling CQ, just to see if there's anybody out there. And if nobody shows up, I might do it at 10:52 just because it sounds good because it's already 10 minutes on 5.2. I'm following your footsteps there, Mike.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, got to keep the alliteration.
Exactly. Very much so. Lay it on thick, as they say. And so, we'll try it out. I'm hoping to make contacts at least once a day if I can do that, hopefully. But, we'll see how it goes. I like Mike, I want to make sure our bands are getting used to as well. And always want to, have an opportunity. And heck, Mike threw out the gauntlet, so we're going to try it out.
Yep.
And we'll see.
You're almost guaranteed to get Dale every time.
Well, that's my problem. Is like we have the one ham. So those that don't know, in the New England area, there's one ham, Dale, NA1. Is it? And I was gonna say NA1T, but it's not. Is it?
No.
It's oh man. Oh man, it's gonna kill me now. Now it is.
NF1T.
NF1T. Let me see if that's it. I'm gonna do a quick Google. It might be. Either way, he's a big 5.2 guy. Doesn't talk on repeaters. He's always one to pick up a 5.2 conversation. So it might be 52 days of me and Dale. You never know. But at least we'll be making some noise on the airwaves. So that's what I'm hoping.
I'll leave my radio on 5.2.
Okay. The other name I was thinking about was the N1FT Appreciation Month, but like I ended up going with the 5.2 challenge. So.
Well, there we go. All right. Well, so with that, it's a good segue. Let's hand this over to Mike. So if you haven't and you've been under a rock, Mike has thrown out an awesome challenge, which I am super excited about. I know he's going to be on several different shows promoting it, but I figured, we'd scoop him up now. So by the time this airs, you'll start to hear a little bit of this stuff going on, and we're just going to keep, making sure and checking in with people along the way. So yeah, Mike, tell us a little bit about the 5.2 challenge and, kind of what you were thinking and why you decided to do it and, what led you to it besides, the heavy alliteration.
Yeah, so I'll start off with what this is, and then I'll kind of get into a little bit about where I got the idea for this and, what I'm hoping to accomplish with it. So it is very simple. This is not difficult at all. The 5.2 challenge is to simply call out on 5.2, 146.5.2 for 52 days the next 2 months, March and April. Why did I start it right now? Because I've been sitting on this idea for a couple months and it's like, just get it over with. But the whole reason I kind of was like, I got to do this now is because I realized 5.2 is on a Saturday and I was like, I want to do a live stream on 5.2. So I wanted to have enough time before 5.2, to actually do the 52 days. Right. So, there's a little selfish motivation there, but it's that simple. Just, I want hams to get out and get active on 2 meter simplex. Anytime that topic comes up, I think people are quick to say, 2 meters is dead, or I wish there was more activity, or hey, I just made a contact that was really cool, or I called out on this road trip and nothing happened. So I think we would all like to see some, simplex activity on 5.2 on 2 meters, and so that was kind of like the impetus for it. Was like let's get some more activity, but I want to keep this simple. So there's no logs. You don't need to submit anything. You don't need to track anything. This is just on you. Like 52 days, these 2 months, and I'm, you kind of have this artificial deadline because deadlines and moments in time are what motivate us to take action and do things. And So
deadlines create a sense of urgency.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. You procrastinate up to the last week, and then you're like, shit, I got to get it all done. Now you're cram 5-2 in the last week.
Like I said, I sat on this idea for a couple months. Like, how do I want it? And I'm a ham, so I overthink it. And I don't want any overthink. Just get out and call. Like, even if you just pick up the HT or whatever, just call out, give it a shot, see if someone comes back. If they don't, they don't. Okay. But 52 days, there's 61 days between March and April. So if you start late or you miss a day or anything, these things don't have to be consecutive. But what I'm trying to do, and I know I said I'd get to this later, but I'll just get into it now, is we're trying to get more activity. And ultimately, hopefully there's some people that make some really cool contacts and they're encouraged to do it more often. Hopefully we build some habits, some of that muscle memory that every time we get in the car for a longer trip, we're going to try 5-2 real quick and just see. And maybe we make some contacts. I did the other day, which was, in February before the challenge officially started. But, I got a little 20-watt micro mobile in the car, but I made a, Simplex contact into the city, and I'm like, okay, so I know I can hit Route 490 from Henrietta. If you're in Western New York, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm like, okay, I got an idea of what I'm capable of, and so these are all good things. And remember, 2 meters, like, this is techs, so those who are just getting their license and everything, I think it's an opportunity for them to maybe make some of those contacts. I remember calling out on 5-2 when I first got my radio, and I didn't hear anything. And then I made a contact on a repeater, but no, let's get some more activity. And I'm hoping that folks, like I said, they build that muscle memory, they create some new habits, or maybe they learn what their stations can do, or maybe it even encourages them to make some changes. Like, okay, I'm going to get a better antenna at my QTH, or, maybe I'm going to put that mobile in the car because I realize an HT just 5 watts isn't cutting it for what I want to do. So, that's what I hope comes of this. It's not a competition. It's not a contest.
It's not a contest.
It's a challenge. No, and I don't want it to be a contest.
Where do I submit my logs?
And by not making it a contest, then you can do this on the work bands too. No, just kidding.
5-2 on the work bands?
Yeah. 2 meters is now a work band. No, but that's what we're trying to accomplish at the end. Is let's have fun. Let's get some activity going. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to call out and not. I know that if there's any fear that I have, it's that people might get discouraged because nothing happens. And we always hear, it's dead. There's no Simplex activity. Well, at least you tried. Okay. At the end of the day, don't be afraid to fail or not be successful. And the idea for this, I got it sometime later in the fall. And I'll give a shout out to Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, because he did a series in the fall where I think he was doing a video every day. But he did a couple videos, and he was talking about 2 meter Simplex, 2 meter sideband, VHF contesting, all this stuff. It's speaking to my heart, right? And I got the idea, I think shortly after watching that, I was like, oh, how about we challenge people to do this for 52 days? But I sat on the idea like a ham would. I'm not sure how I want to roll this out. Does this need to be a contest? When do I start it? I even thought about doing it by myself quietly at the end of the year to see how it worked out. And then maybe I do a video after I did it and challenge others to do it. But finally, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And so I quickly shot the video. Shout out to Izzo and Clubhouse. I sent Izzo a message. I'm like, hey, I'm starting this. If you don't have a guest for Tuesday, can I hop on and try to promote this in the beginning? And so by the time people hear this, I will have already been on Clubhouse trying to promote it, and reached out to a few others, asked folks to share and try to stir up interest. But yeah, I did this thing on 6 meters last year, And again, I try to take advantage of moments in time and just coincidences with dates or things like that. And I did that 6 meter FM activity day on 5/25/25, simply because I realized 52525 is the calling frequency for 6 meter FM, and that this thing took off. Like I'm still getting email. Like someone emailed me a week or two ago, like, "Are you doing something like this again in May?" Because people, there's folks that have this passion for 6 meters, and there's those that have it for 2 meters. There's those that have it for all kinds of bands and modes and everything else. But people are just happy to see bands getting used, to see activity. And so, that was just taking advantage of a moment in time. There's not going to be another 5/25/25 again. Like that was, that was scarcity at its best.
Not for 1,000 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I figured, why not? Let's throw this out there now. It's a challenge to myself. I'll call it on the repeaters a lot in the car. But I realized, like, no, I should be calling out on Simplex more often. And I think I noticed in the beginning of February, I commented to a couple folks locally, I've noticed a lot more activity on 2 meter Simplex. I did a short, a YouTube short, I think, where I mentioned how I was already like 6 weeks into the new year, and I'd made 10 contacts on 2 meter Simplex from the car on my commutes in and out of work with different people. So, and it was two other people were calling, and I called out a couple times too. And I kind of realized, like, something's in the water. I don't know what it is, but I don't recall this, happening before. And so, there's little things like that kind of motivated me. Like, no, let's do this now. Let's just throw this out there and throw a challenge out and see who runs with it.
Cool. Well, I got a couple of questions, but yeah, you guys, I'll let you, Todd, Paul, you want to throw in at all?
Well, I call out 5.2 periodically, and 99% of the time I don't. But I was the last time I got someone was Thanksgiving, and I was watching Zach play flag football with his friends in the morning, kind of like they got a bunch of kids from different schools together, just playing like a pickup game of flag football. Mm-hmm. And I just sat there and I called out, and this guy called back to me, and I was like, "Hey." So we had a conversation. I said, "Well, hang out here." I said, "I'll give you a call. I'll call out every morning on my way to work, and if you're around." Haven't heard from him since.
It's usually what happens, right? It's a calling channel. Don't use it. I've called once.
Yeah, but
Well, one of the things that I think is interesting. Mike made mention of this earlier, but it's going to help change habits, right? Because, like, for myself, if I'm in the truck and I've got more than a 10-minute drive, then I'll call out on 5.2. Mm. But short of that, like, I'm not typically calling out. When I had my ham shack at the house in Merrimack, I would often monitor 5.2 because I had the separate radio, and I would call out every now and again. But yeah, I think it's good to kind of change some habits that people have, and you just get a little more activity, because it's not an emergency frequency.
No,
it is the calling.
Exactly.
Frequency.
Thank you. There's no emergency in front of it any longer.
Yeah. And to remind folks too, like, if you are going to have QSOs on it, there's nothing wrong with that. I know that some areas may frown on it, but the etiquette would be, just when you're doing Simplex like that, just pause before you key up. If somebody finishes their transmission, just leave a little break. And in case there is some kind of emergency traffic, or there's a third party, someone else wants to jump in, just leave that little bit of a pause.
People do that on the repeaters too anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no real difference.
Yep.
Yeah, it's how you change your mindset. Kind of like, you're not on a repeater, you're on 5.2. it's just a little bit harder to say you can't talk to everybody like a repeater would give you the cover. I mean, that's really kind of all repeaters are for us, is that it just expands our reach so people can hear us more. But I think one of the big problems that we all forget is that you throw your call out there and you're like, oh, I'm calling on 5-2. And then you just wait for 5 minutes and then, or 2 minutes, not even 5 minutes. You wait for 2 minutes and then you're like, well, nobody's out there. They're not listening. And lo and behold, somebody could have turned their radio on. You know, if ham radio was smart enough to like have a cached buffer, like, you know, you could get your last 10 calls on 5-2 when you power up your radio. So you know who called and you can maybe reach out and call them again. But it doesn't work that way because we're just so ingrained with like, oh, it's instantaneous, you know, it's social media, it, you know, you automatically puts a number out there and someone's gonna respond to you in 2.5 minutes or 5 minutes. So, you know, I find it's gonna be exactly like you said, and Paul and everybody kind of already said, is that you're gonna have to train yourself to do a little bit more, and that's gonna be a tough part, I think. Like, so anything you would offer for suggestions, like how do you do it yourself, Mike, when you're, you know, using 5-2 in your area? Do you say, I'm going to do it 3 times a day? Do you say I'm going to do it 1 time a day? Like, what would you offer somebody who was like totally a noob to this?
Well, I do it when you get a chance. Okay. You know, like, don't overcomplicate it. The one tip I would say is when you're calling, you know, CQ on 5-2, don't just say, you know, CQ and 2MAK, CQ, QRZ, and that's it. Like, some people, like I usually have, you know, 5-2 on the B band, and then the A band, I'll have a repeater. Now, the habit I switched today is I hit the AB button. Now the repeater's on the B band, 5-2 is on the A band, so I don't have to think to hit another button or switch. Like, I can, on my commute or whatever, I can just grab the mic and call out, and if I want to talk on the repeater, now I gotta push the button and switch, right? But if you're doing a CQ call, you know, you got to commit to doing a longer call. This is not POTA, folks. Now, you can mix it with POTA, and that's a great thing to do, but if you're calling out on 5-2, people aren't going to be, you know, aren't going to necessarily be ready to hop right in there. So you might want to do a longer call. Maybe someone's scanning, right? And so you want to do a longer CQ just so the scanner, you know, gets to that frequency. But also give them time. Like, they might hear it in the garage and like, oh, is someone on 5-2? Like, yeah, you get, you know, by the time they get to the radio, or by the time they figure out where's the AB button on my radio and the mobile, right?
Yeah, so I haven't touched this thing in like 10 years.
Yeah, so I'll do a longer CQ call, and then I'll usually call out 3 times. I'll try to do it like that's once isn't going to be enough.
Nope.
I'll do a longer CQ call. I'll wait. I'll do it again. You know, and I'll do it a 3rd time. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's the advice I would give folks is like, when you're doing it, do a longer call and do it a couple times. Just, you know, give people time to get to their radio if they're monitoring, or, you know, give the, you know, scanner time to get through whatever it's scanning and monitoring and stuff. And that's it. But if you want to call out, you know, when you get a chance, to just do it. Like, you know, you can do it in the car, do it from an HT, whatever works with you, your schedule and stuff. But that's it. Just do it. Call.
Now, so you obviously you threw a couple of different terms out there, the calling CQ, or just say you're monitoring.
Yep.
You know, what would you suggest? Because again, every area is going to be a little different. Like, I know I've been through certain areas where people will throw out their call sign and say they're monitoring. And then some people, you know, if they're brave enough and they feel like they can stick their neck out, they'll call CQ. Like, I find a lot of times people get nervous when they call CQ on 5-2 because it's that whole, like, and Paul, Todd has shared this several times. It's like calling CQ on a repeater kind of thing. It's not, you know, normal, but you can go ahead and do it, kind of things. And so, you know, what would you offer for someone who is like, you know, trying to figure out what words they want to say or what they should say?
How about just talking to yourself? Just get on there and whatever's on your mind, just start talking. Hey, this W1STJ. Yeah, I'm driving to work right now, and I'm wondering if anyone's out here. And let me break.
Eastbound and down.
No one's out there, so I'll keep. And eventually, someone will be like, "Man, 5.2's booming." Some whack job just talking to yourself.
Whatever you're comfortable with, just go with it. It's like it is with POTA. Like it's your activation. Run with it. Do it how you feel comfortable. Whatever you're comfortable doing. Like I always like it'll make me smile if I'm calling and saying CQ, because I'll say CQ on 5.2 today. It's got that rhyme. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But other times, like when I was calling out in the car today, I was just like, N2MAK mobile monitoring. I'm on 5.2. If anyone's listening, N2MAK on 5.2 QRZ, and things like that, whatever. Just, don't overthink it. Just key up the mic, you put your call out there and, see what happens.
So repetitively and consistently is pretty much, I guess, the thing you can get out of that. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Paul, you've done, your travels up and down the East Coast. You've thrown 5.2 out. What's kind of your regular MO when you put stuff out there?
Honestly, it's hit or miss. There are times where I'll get somebody that'll come back and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm actually, 5 miles behind you traveling in the same direction." And we'll have a good conversation while we're driving. Mm-hmm. Then there are other times like when Dave KB5UTY came down here for Hamcation, we met up and we did some driving, going to different places, and the two of us are both calling out like, he's giving his call and he's like, "Yep, I'm listening on 5.2 if anybody's out there," and then I'm right behind him going, "N1OG is also listening on 5.2 if anybody's out there, if you can hear us." If you can hear us, come back to us.
Everybody's listening. Nobody's talking.
Yeah. But then, you just start that banter back and forth, and you're like, whatever. Nobody's listening. Nobody wants to chime in, but it's okay because we got each other.
We're in love. Throw me a heart, please. Yeah. So, anyway, Todd, you've done some 5.2 calling. Obviously the local area.
Well, we have up at Pac Monadnock, which is a POTA park, and we'll get a lot. I've worked probably the same guy, probably 5 different times doing /soda/POTA on 5.2, and he just calls out, and I know if I hear him, I always get back to him, and I've talked to Tim on top of Pac Monadnock. I've called out on 5.2, and he answered me. So.
Yep. Yeah,
I actually like it. I wish more people were on it. I agree with you. it's like you said, you don't get a lot of and the other time I've used it too is if Eric, you and I have been driving in the same place, and the repeater, because you're interfering, you can just go to Simplex and make it easier to talk. But I'm gonna do it. I've got 5.2 on the B band. I'm going to switch it to A band, and I'm going to call out every morning and every evening.
There you go.
Yeah, and you never know, because you might just get the guy at Santa's Village on the Ferris wheel talking back to you on 5.2 while you're going to the Franconia Notch.
That's who you got.
Dude, that was the coolest 5.2 contact ever. I'm just headed south, coming from the Great North, and I'm like, "Hey, N1OG 5.2, anybody out there?" And this guy comes back and he goes, "Yeah, I'm at Santa's Village on the Ferris wheel."
He was on the Ferris wheel?
He was on the Ferris wheel.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Nice. And speaking of cool contacts, if you make some contacts on 5.2, they're gonna be memorable. And one of my most memorable contacts, period, was at the end of a POTA, and this POTA location's Bear Hill in off of Canandaigua Lake in Western New York, and it is also a soda site. If you go up far enough to the right location, then it's both POTA and soda. I was calling out on the HT on the walk back to the car, and as soon as I got to my car, somebody came back to me. So I did have elevation still. I'm about 1,500 feet. And the contact I made He had just got his tech like a week ago. And the guy's like, awesome. You are the first Simplex contact I've had. He goes, I've been on the repeaters. He goes, but I've never heard anybody like on 5.2 since, you know, and he's like, I'm just got my ticket or passed my exam 2 weeks ago. I just got my license like a week ago. And, you know, it's like ones like that, you realize like, oh geez, this is cool. Like, you know, he's like forever excited. I see him around, you know, from time to time at club events or Hamfests and stuff like that. And we always chat, and he's real big now into the East Coast Reflector stuff and whatnot. But like, you could be like a tech's first contact on 5.2 and that's special. Like that means a lot to people.
Now I'm motivated. I'm going to bring my Baofeng Mini to snowboarding when I get to the top.
Might as well, dude.
When I'm sitting on the chairlift going up, I got nothing better to do. Half the time I'm by myself. I might as well get on it.
That's awesome.
Well, that's, I mean,
no, Mike. Sorry, Mike. For yours, did you send them a first contact certificate?
I don't know if I sent one for him. Now that I think about it, I'd have to go back and double check. I'm pretty sure I sent a QSL card. You know, I made a note of it, but I don't know if I did that. I did the first contact certificate for, I know I did it for my first HF contact, and I know I did it for my first repeater contact, like that I made out like on a repeater. But I'd have to look and see. That's cool. Like I'll have to rethink that. He's changed his call sign since because he did upgrade to extra, and now so he's got an extra call. But but yeah, no. I'll have to think about that.
So, you know, I don't know if this is something that you were thinking about in the background, or maybe one of the things I'm hoping to do, just like Todd kind of got excited about doing it, and I'm sure Paul's going to be picking it up, is that I'm going to just vlog every day. And so, you know, for 10 minutes, I'm just going to put out a short, and you're going to get it every day as much as I possibly can on, you know, me calling on 5.2. And it might be boring some days, and it might be the same person a couple of times, but that's not the point. It's really just, like Mike said, making a noise and making, you know, our airways alive. But I was thinking, you know, because I know in our midst here, we've got a lot of listeners who are YouTubers. Like, guys, I'm going to throw the challenge out. Like, you guys all have your own channels. This is like shooting fish in a barrel content wise. Like, how hard is it to fire up your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever, record it and dump it right to YouTube? You don't have to do any special editing. You can just say, hey, I'm, you know, doing Mike's 5.2 challenge. This is my 5 minutes of whatever, and do it, you know, consistently and see what happens, because I think that'd be cool. But Mike, one thing I think we need to do is come up with like a hashtag or something like that. That way people like record videos, because I'd love to hear some of the cool things like Paul shared his example wise with the guy on the Ferris wheel, or there's, you know, some other scenario like happens, you know, that you're making a contact with a guy, you know, or a you know, new ham or whatever, and, you know, using a hashtag. So, you know, I'm going to throw it out to you. Maybe you got a hashtag you want to kind of include. Maybe you can throw it out when you do the show on Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess we'll just probably end up doing like the hashtag like 5.2 Simplex challenge or whatever. I wrote out 5.2, you know, words instead of numerals. Just because like when I was like last second thought, I was like, let me just double check, see if there's like any 5.2 challenges or something. And there's like some 5.2 diet, like, you know, and it's like 5:2. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to write this out as 5.2. And I stayed away too from the numbers, the numerals 5.2, because then it's like, is it 5.2 or is it 52? And stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to say 5.2, because that's what I'm saying in my head when I read it and I talk about it. So yeah, I'll come up with a hashtag. But
you can do 5.2 SC.
Yeah,
that would abbreviate it, because I don't know about you, I suck at spelling, and I know all my stupid tools are going to autocorrect saying you spelled Simplex wrong or whatever else like that. But yeah, no, dude. So I think that'd be kind of cool, and so. I'm going to throw it out to everybody. So anybody who's listening, obviously we're a week into this now at this point, by the time you hear this episode drop, you know, share it, tag Mike's channel in it, you know, basically just kind of drum up as much as you can for interest, because I think that's what's going to make this thing rock out, not the fact that we're submitting logs or, the prize at the end of the rainbow kind of thing, although that's pretty cool. So, tag Mike. When Mike has something, we'll make sure we update it on our site and we get the word out there and people are starting to use it. But, so I'm trying to think of how we want to do this. So you've got at the end of this 52 days. And so it's, you've committed yourself to 52 days or 52 days. And what's at the end of the rainbow, as they say?
5-2. May 2nd. I'm going to do a live stream and, like I said, invite you guys, invite some others. When I reached out to Izzo, to see about, is there a spot on Tuesday's Clubhouse so I can talk about this? I ain't even shot the video yet. I was literally, putting the plane together as it's taking off the runway because it was just one of those things. Like we will sit on things as hams. We will overthink it, indecision paralysis, whatever you want to say, and it just was like, no, I just got to do this. And I kind of threw the idea out to him and he's like, we got your back, brother, and I was like, all right, screw it. Like we're doing this and everything. But yeah, no, I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to work some giveaways in there. I'm reaching out to people, but I launched this thing half baked, to a certain extent because I'm going to do something. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to talk about it. But the giveaway it's a way to make it fun.
Yeah.
And to have, something at the end to sort of celebrate and talk about. But, there's going to be people that tune into the live stream that win something that, maybe never even picked up an HT the last 2 months. Like whatever, it's
don't even have 5.2 programmed on their radio.
Yeah. I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I was trying to think, like, is there a way to tie a giveaway in it? Maybe have people submit stuff and do this, and I was just like, I'm just going to keep this simple, man, because at the end of the day, if we overcomplicate it, we'll always come up with excuses. And I don't want there to be excuses or barriers to entry because this is not challenging. Like you need to push a button on your radio, say your call sign, and that's really about it. Like you could technically do this, in a matter of seconds each day, and that's it. But I think we want something more than just that. But there's ways to work it in. We talked about doing it on commutes, doing it on longer drives. Do it at the end or the beginning of a POTA activation. I try to do it. I've been doing this since we're recording this on a Sunday. I've been calling out every day since Wednesday. And that was before I didn't shoot the video until Friday. To kick this thing off. Like, it's just like habit. It's like, I'll do it on occasion. And I called out on a POTA Wednesday morning and I got somebody. I had to call out like 3 or 4 times, but I did. I called out on Thursday. I struck out. I called out on Friday. I had it scheduled in advance and we did it. I called out today and I got a surprise. I called out yesterday and I got a surprise. Like, it is what it is,
Well, and so you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's like, and Todd was alluding to it earlier. It's like, he's going to have 5.2 on in the local area as his primary band. I'm going to probably do the same. My thought is like, even if it's you and him, like, so if it's just Todd and I on our commute in the middle of the day and we hear each other on 5.2, have the conversation like you're normally on the repeater, like you'd normally, whatever, until you can't get any further, you run out of rope, as they say, with the idea that you're creating noise in a good way. And eventually, maybe tomorrow, you do the same thing over again. And lo and behold, that person that was just tuning in yesterday at the tail end of it can be like, oh, wow, there seems to be more activity and they may join in. They may throw their hat in the ring, and I would say throw in the couple of like tidbit words that might help, because this happens a lot when I do this on All Star, is that people they'll listen more to the conversation than they will participate. But if you actively throw out in your conversation at the tail end, hey, we're leaving a space open here, so feel free to jump in. We're not going to dominate this conversation kind of thing. It may help in the long run. I mean, I know, Todd says that a lot when we're on the repeaters, especially when we get really winded or you're in a conversation. You just kind of, let the PTT go, hear the conversation, say it again, and you never create space. Create some space, but create it with the intentionality in it, and maybe that might just get the impetus of people moving towards wanting to have more of a conversation and pick up where you left off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the things, like I've brought the HT. I try to do short walks each day, whether it's, on a break at work or going out with the dogs or whatever. And, I've gone out the last 2 days with the HT, and I've brought different HTs with different antennas, each time. And, just to call out and see what they can do. And, it's when we talk about changing some habits or introducing some new habits, maybe this gets you calling out more, on commutes or trips, but maybe it gets you just going for a walk and bringing the HT, whether you call out or not. Like, you at least got an HT while you're walking around, or you bring in an HT to your POTA activation. You're calling out at the beginning or the end of the POTA activation, things like that. Maybe you call out at the beginning of POTA activation and you realize there's another ham in the same park. Just set up at a different location. That's happened to me before. So it's, who knows? That's part of the fun. Don't get discouraged in this if you're striking out. It's fine.
I think you did either video or somebody's. I think maybe came from you, where you were carrying an HT around for a couple of weeks intentionally with the idea that you were building a different habit. Hopefully, it got you to a place now. It sounds like you're carrying it around often. It's when you had said all that, it kind of triggered a thought, because I remember sitting at breakfast this morning. I was talking to the owner of the cup, of the basically the inn we were at. And he was saying how he was like, going out hunting, and they were talking about radios, and he must have saw me peeked up when he talked about radios. Now, he was talking about GMRS, but at the same time, I'm like, well, dude, I'm an idiot. I should have a radio with me. I carry my freaking smartphone around. Yep. So guess what I've ordered? I've picked up my first stupid mini. It should be here probably in a couple of days.
Yay.
So yeah, exactly. I'm still on the edge with that one. I'm not quite sure, but in essence, it's still a mini. So it's small enough that I don't feel like my wife's not looking at it going, "Why the hell are you carrying around the your FT3 with the signal link antenna on it?" It's it's obnoxious. The mini kind of fits that bill. So I'm hoping to carry that around a little bit more with the intentionality of doing this with the 5Q challenge.
And that's what I did with that radio, because by the time I got my hands on it, to do a sponsored video and stuff, everyone else had, they're doing all the tests, and this was a little bit before it became like the most controversial radio ever. But
serious emission.
But as soon as I picked the thing up, I'm like, oh, it's so adorable. Like, it's so tiny. And I have given a presentation on stage in a suit with it in my suit pocket, and nobody knows. I carried it for work and dress clothes. I whether it's jean pockets, suit pockets, whatever. Like, the thing is so small, and that to me, I immediately was like, this is what this radio is for. There's no perfect radio. There's no perfect antenna.
Shit. My best friend's gay.
I knew that was going. I was like, what?
But yeah, no, this is what it can be used for. Like, you just carry it around. You got something on you. It's not going to be the best, but no, that's a good habit that somebody might adopt, is like, maybe they're carrying a radio more often. It doesn't have to be that, but maybe they're just keeping an HT in their work bag now, so that they got something in their laptop bag, or they got something in the glove box. Whatever, Yep,
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a challenge. It's going to be a hard one, I think, at least initially, because you got to get over the fear. You got to get over the awkwardness. But once you get past that, then I think Todd gives a decent example. Pretend you're talking to yourself because no one knows if you're actually really talking to someone on the other side because they may not be able to hear the conversation because it's Simplex. So you can pretend the whole entire time like you're having a full conversation.
I didn't even think of that. You just start talking. It makes sense.
It's not a repeater. It's not like you have to worry about the fact that they can or can't hear him. It's like,
next thing you know, there'll be like an email chain going out. Like, we've been hearing Todd on 5-2, and he's like talking to no one.
Keep saying how great it is, and he's got this great guy. Who have you bumped into? Oh man, so dude, I applaud you for stepping up. I thank you for dumping the analysis paralysis and say screw it. We're just gonna be gay and have fun and get on 5-2 and play around.
It's only gay if you have a Baofeng.
Baofeng. Yeah, well, dude. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna join the club, my friend. I have to.
I mean, I'm bringing this only on the chairlift just because it's small.
Yeah,
and I don't have small is better.
Yeah.
Well, and
$20 is $20. Like if it falls off,
$7 on Temu.
Yep.
$7. Like this is the most economical radio I've ever owned and probably ever will own. I don't think I'll ever get a radio less than $7.
Mike, can we encourage our listeners, if you're not a video person and you don't like recording yourself and whatever, if you've got a good story, to send it to you?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I'm good on QRZ. So, yep.
And make a Winlink.
Do that. Yep. And that's one of the things I'm going to do like partway through this. It's like, I got, you were saying earlier for creators, there's like so many opportunities. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do a POTA with Baofeng Mini. I'm going to have different antennas set up. So there'll be a J-pole or a Yagi or just the duck, and I'm going to be up high elevation so that, it can actually make contacts, but see what kind of a difference, antennas make. And, there's opportunities to do some shorts and everything else, but there's a lot of content that could easily be created. And I'm going to do a call for stories, like as we get into this. Like I made a note, like I'll do a short video and ask people like, hey, if you've been doing this, 30 days in, halfway through or something, share your stories. Let's hear some positive things. Rob, N1, NUG, or is try to do some videos on
the not pot smoker with the cool pot smoking call sign.
Yeah. But yeah, no, let's share some positive stories, encourage others, and stuff. So yeah, no, definitely hit me up. I'd love to hear it because I think, like I said earlier, if you make a contact like this on 5-2, a Simplex contact is going to be memorable. And maybe it's not going to be the greatest contact you ever made, but there's going to be some memorable ones in there, and that might be a first for somebody, or it might be unique. Maybe you catch some unique tropo ducting or something like that. Yeah. Which it's not the season where I am yet, but there's all kinds of unique propagation down in the Gulf and stuff like that. And so who knows? Maybe Paul will get some unique ducting and stuff. When he's on the way to Texas from Florida.
You heard have you heard? Did I tell you the story when I was brand new and I thought the guys were screwing with me and I thought it was a net. I thought I was talking to Boston because there was like the 2-meter ducting and I was in Newfoundland, Canada, 850 miles away.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And they couldn't believe I thought they knew I was new and they were just messing with me. And then like about a month later, I get a QSL card. Hey man, thanks for the contact. Thanks for making our net. Anytime you wanna join our net, you're more than welcome to. I was like, are you shitting me? 850 miles on and I had it was an HT with a mag mount on my roof of my house because I had a metal roof. So it was sticking out the window and it wasn't even straight. It was like kind of diagonal. But yeah, that was only on 5 watts too. So that's pretty.
Dude, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like, and so I would love to have you back in say 30 days, Mike, and see what interesting stories you got, just to have a conversation and see if things are sticking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it on my log, my phone log, and every one I make, and I'll just jot it down, see how many I get.
Yeah, dude. That'd be the funny part. It's like to see how many physical, like, unique contacts everybody's got. My problem is it's easier for me to record because then I can drive and still make contacts. But if I try to log it, forget it.
Yeah.
I don't ever log my 5-2 contacts because I always forget, call signs or whatever. But if I'm recording them, at least a better shot of, remembering the call.
Well, I'm going to go on Ham 2K right now. And,
create a log.
Yeah. I'm just going to call my 5-2 log.
Yeah, nice. We're gonna throw this out here for our ham listeners. I'll throw into the ring here. We'll come up with a unique prize. I think if you can do a full POTA activation on 5-2 only, make 10 contacts. That's all you need to do. I'll throw something in on Mike's special day for that one person, and you have to submit your log to show on POTA that it's actually all 5-2 contacts only. That would be interesting to see if someone can do that. I don't know if there's anybody who's ever done it. Are you aware of that?
I've done it a ton of times. What? I've live streamed it. I've live streamed it last.
You made
2 years.
You've activated a park on 5-2.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Multiple times. The last
Sucks around here.
Montesano, there's probably like 30 people that have activated that park just on 5-2.
The last 2 years I've participated. I think it's in April, which will be neat because it'll coincide with this. Is there's a special event for autism awareness, and I forget what the call sign is, but when I've done it, I've gone out and I've done traditional POTAs with the call sign, but I've also, to give it out, give a unique opportunity for this call sign to local hams and to help raise awareness for autism and stuff. I've done it on 2 meters, and I'll usually schedule it around 6 o'clock. On a weeknight, try to make it, convenient for folks. I'll publicize it in a couple days in advance. I'll mention it on a couple nets on local repeaters, talk it up. And, but when I've done it the last 2 years, I've live streamed it on YouTube too, just to show like, you can do this, maybe not everywhere, but one of the videos I'll be making during this challenge is on tips, and I think I might have talked about this on a Brew and Activate, but I'm going to share some of the tips. Like if you want to do a POTA on 2 meters, regardless if you're doing it with a Baofeng Mini or you're bringing out a 50-watt mobile or whatever, here's some tips. Like if you really want to try to do something on 2 meters, here are some tips. And at the end of the day, the acronym I came up with was SALT, which was S for share. I think A was
altitude.
A was for I think it might have been antenna. Because antenna is going to make a big difference. I think A was antenna. L was location. And then the T, which is a unique thing I just hinted at, is timing. Okay. So
I thought it was talk.
Yeah, no,
that would be the other one.
Yeah, but the T is timing, and that's a big factor. Like think about the time of day that you're going to do it. But you could try to leverage other things like when there's local nets or when there's like a VHF contest or things like those are all moments in time you can try to take advantage of when you're scheduling, something like this. But share antenna, location, and time. That at the end of the day, those are the that's the acronym I came up with. SALT, just a little bit of salt and you'll be fine.
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Exactly.
That salt in the wound.
Yeah, that or don't pour too much salt on your steak. Otherwise you'll ruin your steak. But
yep.
All good. Dude, that's awesome. So I will support you, and I know these guys will too as well. And so we're going to throw it out to all of our listeners. Come on. Make 5-2 alive again. Start having some fun. Start making the band, that specific band, come more alive, and not only alive during contests where like everything's a sked. That's the one thing I hate about the VHF, UHF contests around here. It's like everyone's like, oh, I got you on 5-2. Well, let's go over to 440. Let's go over to 6 meters. Yep. It's like, yeah, I understand how you're doing it and why you're doing it, but it just takes the fun out of it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm programming all this in here, and so, I get more excited when it's like, spontaneous and, you're the one that has to create noise for something, in order to be, active and alive. So very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, any last little bit of stuff you want to throw out there before we kind of wrap things up for tonight?
like I always say, leave no band behind. We got to use it or lose it. You might think, oh, they're not coming after 2 meters. Well,
they might.
There's interest right now.
Yeah.
Do you like Meshtastic or Meshcore? Well, guess what? 900 megahertz. There's commercial interest after that. And I think it's the PNT space, position, navigation, and timing is I think, the acronym that they use, but there's companies looking at 900 megahertz, 70 centimeters. There's commercial satellite companies interested in amateur space there. There are, brokerages, stockbrokers, whatever it is in the stock market.
Yeah, on the HF
they're commercial interested in
the
HF.
traders.
Yeah, day traders in HF and stuff. So, we got to use bands or lose it. It's happened before, and I'm sure it might happen again. But yeah, no, use it or lose it. So leave no band behind, and then RF around and find out. Just see what you can do. Like I'm learning what I can do with a 20-watt mobile in the car. See what you can do with your HT. See what a difference, upgrading to a J pole from a rubber duck makes, RF around and find out.
In that 52-day challenge, work on carrying, get yourself like we said, like I already did, go buy yourself a Baofeng Mini and wear it on your belt, even if you don't turn it on, just get used to comfortable carrying it around like you carry your cell phone and smartphone around with you. And then maybe one time when you have it on your hip and you're bored and you turn it on and, make a contact, try it, make some effort and you'll be probably very surprised with the whole process. So yeah.
Just make sure that you bedazzle it like Julie did.
Oh no. Everything I love Jules, but she I look at that and go, no. It's bad enough it's like a radio and it's not like it was like in the 80s where radio was sort of cool, like you could like carry around an HT because it was unique and people still are attracted to it because it wasn't the internet. But now like if you're less likely to attract the wrong type of people if you're carrying around an HT on your belt all the time. So I'll be good, either way.
Is that a cordless phone?
That's what
you are also less likely to get laid if you are single and you've got an HT on your hip all the time.
I already got that checkbox solved there, so we're all good. I'll carry 4 or 5. I'll be good. One on each hip.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all the other hams out there that might be single.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate that demographic there, man. I didn't know that was part of your channel and who you were targeting, but if you're in that bucket, that's where you're going to want to get your content.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. See, my only other problem is like, I used to have cell phones. I don't know if you guys are like this too, but like I work in IT and I used to go into data centers a lot, and my bearing to when I go through doors, I would always destroy my cell phone because it would always catch you to the door and bang it. That would be my fear with all HTs now. If I put an HT on my belt, I guarantee I'm going to be walking around my house or I'm going to go through in the truck and I'm going to catch it on the door. I'm going to rip the bracket off. I'm like, it's a Baofeng Mini. I'm okay with destroying it, but that's why I probably won't use my 3D, 3D to, as every day. I always worry about breaking that thing. So, all right. Cool. Well, with that, you join in the 5-2 challenge, Simplex challenge. Yes. More as the weeks go on. If you haven't, go check out the replay over on Ham Radio Clubhouse. So learn more. Check out Mike's channel at N2MAK. And get out there and make some noise on the bands. So it's all we got left for us. And so let's keep this hobby going and doing some really cool stuff. So, all right, with that, let's wrap things up. As always, thanks again for joining us here at Live Free and Ham. We truly appreciate everybody who's part of the community and hanging out. And so we're going to pick this up. We're going to keep promoting it over on our Discord. So if you want to find out more, you want to check out the video link and everything else like that on Mike's 5-2 challenge, you can catch it up over there. And that link is in all our show notes. You can check us out over at our YouTube channel. We are definitely going to be having some great stuff going on this week and into next week. So make sure if you don't listen, if you're not part of the direct YouTube channel, you're in part of our podcast. So you'll catch all of the great activity and episodes that are coming up. And as always, you can check us out and leave us a voicemail if you're struggling with something or you just want to say hello. You can do that by dialing 978-233-1142. And thanks again for everybody who supports the show via Patreon and buys the beer links. We can't thank you guys enough for being all great and supporting us. And we appreciate every one of you. And heck, if you want to check out the latest swag, because we've got some really cool stuff up there. I know, we've been slacking a little bit on some of the shirt stuff, but it's on my list of rotating through and getting to, up for refreshing. So keep an eye out there and always check in every once in a while. And as always, thanks again from all of us here at Live Free and Ham. We love you, and 7-3.
77.
2.